Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Fire burning from my gut, smoking now I pull it up. I won't stop, so don't confront. Too much about to be a grunt. Watch my back and off the front. You drop it off, I pick it up. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. I'm just trying to stop my dust. All time say I'm dangerous. Nervousness from within you. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. I'm just trying to stop my dust. All time say I'm dangerous. Nervousness from within you. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut.
up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
You know, this is the first time I do the news brief, I think in a year, where it's just me and I don't have a co-host, which is kind of weird. I'm not used to talking to the camera by myself. I'm not good at it. I know a lot of people are good at it, and I know the person sitting in front of me he does it for 6 hours. I hope you don't catch offense to that. And I'll bring him on in a second. And you know, when I was running the standby screen, there's a song, and one of the lyrics to the song was "Waiting for the Money Drop," which I find interesting. He's putting a face, which I find interesting because of the topic that we're going to be going over today. Another thing, for those of you that have watched my friend's podcast here, maybe graphically our equipment looks better, but like we use this isn't a $9,000 setup. You know, I think I'm definitely running this on, and today I'm running it on a $500 iMac that I got at Best Buy. The webcam that you're seeing here is worth about $150. The microphone's the most expensive part. I think the Shure SM7Bs go for about like $600 right now. They're not the SM7DB, which is like I think those are like $1,000. The Rodecaster Pro, I got it on OfferUp for about, I think $200. So we're running pretty much, if you don't count the equipment, we're running a sub $2,000 setup. Sorry. So I don't know. One of the things that I wanted to cover today was what the need of a $9,000 computer is, besides everything else that we're going to talk about. One of the reasons why I'm not joined by other hosts of here on the Warboy Studios is because the amazing Kim has given birth to, I'm gonna use his middle name, to baby Henry. So congratulations to Kim for bringing new life and making the West better by having babies and being a wife and having a traditional marriage. So big shout out to one of my really good friends and not just co-host, Kim. I want to thank her. Another piece of news that's happening right now that's kind of breaking. I wasn't going to cover it, but it seems like we're going to get a verdict in the Austin Metcalf murder case. Actually, it's a Carmelo Anthony murder case, but the victim was Austin Metcalf. Big shout out to Sarah. I think I made a post today in the morning, and Sippy Cup that are out there covering the event and covering the happenings in that event. I pray for a just verdict, but I think we all know how this is going to come down. The only bad part And I don't understand who did this. I don't know if it was a judge or the prosecuting team. They opened the door for a manslaughter charge. Although I don't think based on some of the things that have been going on in the case, we are not going to see them come back with a manslaughter verdict. I think that they're going to come back with a unanimous guilty verdict. It's going to be swift, and it'll probably be a very quick verdict because I think they went into deliberations, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe one of you can correct me. They went into deliberations today. So prayers to that. This to the family of Austin Metcalf, this isn't going to make them feel better, right? It might provide some comfort in the fact that this person can't do that again, and that the perpetrator that murdered his son in the first degree by Texas law will be found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. His luck is that he was under the age of 17, so we can't provide the death penalty for him. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'll let you guys decide and go in the comments. Deliberation started at 10:50 Central Time. Jinxed, which is very versed in the case, it went ahead and said that. So let's start with my guest here. I wrote an article that released yesterday, and it took a couple days to put together. It was a whole team. I got to give thanks to that team for putting this together. Some of the victims came forward and didn't want their all their information out there, and so some of it is very focused, and some of it is very general, and some of it is goes over some of the details that we see from both of these guys. But since our friend here lives here locally, I decided to post yesterday and invite him on the show. When at first he said no, but Barry, which is he went to go get some prints, went ahead and convinced him to show up. Hold on, I gotta fix this. I don't have a $9,000 machine, so sometimes I gotta there's blue painter's tape on here, if you can see that. That's how good our tech is. The paint, the roll of tape, I think it's like $3.99 at Home Depot. But our guest here decided to come in. Barry actually convinced him and called me. He's like, "Hey, you won't believe this." He said yes. So without further ado, we bring in Mr. Fiore. Is that how you pronounce it? Mr. Fiore, which is the subject of our article yesterday. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Fiore. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your effort to come here and clear the air of these allegations against you and Shane, your buddy, which is Safety Swipe. A lot of people know him as Safety Swipe on X. Now, let me tell you, all right, the joke's over. There's absolutely no way that this guy was ever going to fucking join the podcast, okay? If it was me and somebody was accusing me of some shit that I didn't do, I would be like, please get me on your show. I'll go over there and I will debate, because I am a fucking man, right? I don't care who it is. If it's fucking Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, fucking Merrick Garland, give me a chance to confront you as a man, one-to-one, and discuss these false allegations you had against me. And speaking of false allegations, which these aren't false, the first thing that happens when people disagree with me, they always champion my cause. And in the case of Mr. Fiore over here, I'm going to put him back on the screen while I talk. In the case of Mr. Fiore right here, he was championing our cause. He was championing, hey, Barry, he was saying, oh, the Proud Boys are great. They're going to come to Portland. They're going to go ahead and they're going to beat the shit out of Antifa in Minnesota, which, look, I found that, if you guys read the article, I found that to be extremely like, I was appreciative, but my guys weren't operating in their typical black and yellow colors. We were doing private details for some streamers, some journalists to make sure that they weren't getting hurt. Some of my guys were in black bloc, just sitting right behind the line to make sure that they're visually and they're hearing what's going on. So he was putting them in danger. I messaged him and I told him that. So he kind of backed off and he was like, I'm just gonna say that you guys are great dudes. So what I found strange, so I want to tell you where these interactions happened. After that, I didn't know who this guy was. I don't like anonymous people, right? Some people have, like, I know some people that are anonymous because, like they have like sensitive jobs, things like that. But I don't like anonymous people that just sit on the fucking internet all day because you don't have a job, right? And we don't know what your intention is, where you came from, and who, maybe you're being paid. And I'm not saying that Mr. Fiore over here, I look at him nod his head in agreement. I'm not saying Mr. Fiore over here is being paid by like some foreign actor. I think they would be, if he was being paid by a foreign actor, I'd say that those foreigners are fucking retarded, because to get somebody this retarded and pay them would be a travesty. It would actually counter the cause. So I found it weird. But then I saw him like promoting us, and then Rebel herself was getting DMs from him and he was saying, oh, stay away from the Proud Boys. This was back in November, right? But he was promoting us moving forward, January, all the way up until a couple months ago. So how do you speak out of both sides of your mouth? So I already knew there was something weird, but it got even weirder when he was attacking somebody I knew very well. And he was attacking them for something that I knew was an absolute fucking lie. So that led me to believe that this person leverages some of the goodwill that people have towards him because he has doxed people. He's helped cat turd in some situation that I don't even fucking understand, something with DoorDash. So he leverages that goodwill. And then when somebody disagrees with him or takes a position that's against his political or moral beliefs, he goes ahead and he accuses him of different things. Now, I've been accused, I said this in the article, I've been accused of being a Fed multiple times. And there's truth to that. There's a lot of truth to it. I put away a pedophilic sex trafficking ring. These guys were transporting women from South and Central America into the United States, and they would bounce them around. Excuse my language. I don't think I have to say that here. They would bounce them around from whorehouse to whorehouse. Miami, when they were done with them there, a week later, they'd ship them to Atlanta. They'd whore them out there. Then they'd ship them to Las Vegas. And that's how they work. And when they're done with them, you know what they do? They cross them back across the border. They take their money and be done. In some cases, these women were under the age of 18. I got 30 of those guys and I put them in prison. I think the minimal sentence for one was 5 years because he was like an accessory. But two of them got a life sentence for doing this shit. So when you call me a Fed, like, go through the details. Now, when they went to go pick up these guys, they ran multiple criminal enterprises. Some things that I think are should be legal, like a marijuana grow house, stuff like that. It's not my fault that they were sex trafficking and then growing marijuana or doing other kinds of businesses, like they were bookies and things like that. So, so I saw, let's go back to this. I saw that he was attacking people. So Twitter beef is Twitter beef. I don't take it further than that. I just fucking go ahead. We go back and forth. You know, I've been a Twitter user since 2008. This is a new account. And that's the fun in Twitter, just arguing with people on the internet. That's what you do. So I didn't take any offense, but he went after my guys. He went after the Proud Boys. That's what really pissed me off. And that turned into like a big public spat between me and him, to the point that he cares a lot about followers. No matter how much he says it, he cares a lot about followers. But when he posted about the Proud Boys, the amount of support that the Proud Boys had in his comment section was amazing. It was almost every single comment. Between me going after him and his followers going after him for going after the wrong group of guys. And this is what it all boils down to. He was fucking with the wrong people. He deleted the post. He deleted the post completely. But because it was such a big, there was a lot of impressions. A lot of people saw these arguments. People started coming to me and started telling me, hey, this guy screwed me over for X amount of money. This guy fucking honeypotted me into a lot of money. And there was multiple people. So there's a pattern. And this is all about patterns. I'm not a fucking psychologist, but I do read patterns. I'm really good at reading people. I'm really good at getting the things, and I start with their flaws. And if I accept those flaws, I could accept everything else. I'm cautious around those flaws. But these individuals started creating a fact pattern for me. And the fact pattern was there were always women, and many of them veterans, and many of them a little older. So I started documenting some of that, but I didn't do anything with it until last week. Last week, a Twitter user, I don't know if he wants me to name him right now. I don't think he cares. But I'll hold off until I see him in the comments, because I know he's watching. Came up to me, he's like, hey, there's this woman that was targeted by Shane, Safety Swipe. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's the deal? So he kind of gave me a briefing. He's like, look, we're going to have a space tonight. And I'm like, okay, I'll join. I want to listen to her story. And I got on there a little late because I was on the phone with my attorney. And, I always, I'm not a Me Too guy. I'm not a believe every woman guy. I believe in facts. I believe in listening to somebody and see if they're being truthful and honest. And when I got on this space, this woman, her name's Carrie, by the way. She's a master sergeant in the Air Force. And she started trying to say the story, and she started sobbing. It was really difficult to listen to. Some of you guys that are in the audience listened to it. And unfortunately, we didn't record the space, but Keaton's in there. It was Keaton's space. And there was a couple people. Rebel was in there and a couple of others. And she was saying her story. And I'm like, okay, there's honesty here. There's passion, And what ended up happening is Safety Swipe was kind of grooming her and kind of testing her. And when she went, the conversation started changing when he went ahead and he noticed that she was a veteran, she was older, she was getting benefits, she was well off, and she was a person that wasn't tech savvy. Only one of the victims was tech savvy, and this goes to Fiore, my buddy across here. Can you confirm that? No? Okay. One of them wasn't, and that was the one that didn't fall for the entire trap and get hit for tens of thousands or $9,000. Why that's important is because of the equipment. The reason why a lot of these fraudsters, and this isn't like new to them, this is a thing that happens across the country. These fraudsters, what they do is, since these women aren't very versed in technology, they think it's very expensive. So they're like, oh my God, I need a new setup. I can't believe I'm doing so bad. I'd do better if I had a good setup. And out of patriotism and passion, because if you're a person that can't go out and do stuff in real life because like you're caught up with work, or you're older and you don't have the energy to go on a march or go to a rally or something like that, like the way that you provide a service to your cause is by donating, and donating to people that are going to use that money to further your cause as an American. So what they did was predatory in all these cases. And I'm going to show you the text messages. And we lined them up with a couple of other events that went on. And there's a lot more text messages. And we're slow rolling this out. The article was piece 1. This podcast is piece 2, but this is a little piece of the pie. So what they did was predatory. And he just kept mentioning it. And then he would call her from his closet. He would tell her, no, call me on your business hours, because this guy's married. Shane's married, right? And he would call her during business hours, meaning he doesn't want to talk to another woman in front of his wife, which is, I guess, in his case, like a smart move. But I guess like the grift was so important to him that he knew he was on the cusp of getting the money from Carrie, that he would sneak away into his closet. And you know what his excuse was for sneaking into the closet? That he had better reception in his closet than anywhere in the house. Now, why would he say that? We know that's not true. So in the text messages, there was another pattern. And after Carrie agreed to send the money, she had to send it in increments because her bank actually blocked her and said that they were going to ban her from the bank for trying to send $9,000. And the $9,000 is a very curious amount of money. I'll tell you why in a sec. So what she had to do is call the bank. Hey, no, this isn't fraudulent. And then she had to send it in $500 increments daily. And she did this over the course of a couple weeks. And you'll notice the fact pattern in the text messages, not just what Carrie says. We don't have to take her word for it. We got to take a look when you compare the statements and you compare them to text messages, the text messages start dwindling down as the money starts coming in, right? He didn't tell her he was married until the money started coming in. Now, why would he do that? And once the money came in and it was done, he blocked her. And she got mad because the reason why he blocked her was she was asking him to show pictures of what you purchased. The simplest thing in the world. Hey, look, I want to be proud that I helped you out so you can further our cause. Of course he's watching, Shell. He watches everything. Every time I fucking tweet something, I'm watching him, right? He doesn't want to admit it. I'm watching what he says, because the reason why we're slow rolling this, and I think we put out a lot of information yesterday, is because he took a position yesterday. And we find out today, because, well, we knew this. We found out today that position's a fucking lie. So every time we release something, he's going to respond to it. And he's going to take a position. And every position he takes is bullshit. But why $9,000? I'll tell you why $9,000. That's the threshold. That's a threshold. After $10,000, things got to start getting reported to the government. Why didn't he ask for more? Carrie had more money. He could ask Carrie, hey, look, get me a Mac Studio, which is like $9,000 plus upgrades will put it like $12,000 plus a screen, plus the peripherals. You know, he could have taken her for $15,000, but why did he pick $9,000? And the reason that he picked $9,000 is because they're less likely. And you guys have heard this with the new fraud division in the DOJ that's kind of head by the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. You know, before all of this, the IRS and the fraud teams wouldn't prosecute fraud under $1 million. This was before J.D. Vance and this team, because they have thresholds, and the IRS themselves have thresholds. Any transfer of over $10,000 has to be reported. And somebody asks, it keeps it civil, right? Well, it's still criminal, right? Because it's still criminal because fraud, the definition of fraud is saying, hey, I need money. This happens all the time. Like CEOs and companies get hit for fraud all the time. Well, look, the SPLC is a perfect example. The SPLC is like, hey, give me money. Give me money. I'm fighting hate. And they're giving money to hateful groups. In some cases, not air quotes. That's fraud. That's why they got indicted, and that's why they're going to get convicted. I need $9,000 for a computer. You give them $9,000. You know what the perfect response was yesterday by Fiore and Shane Safety Swipe would be? You know how he would have shut me up? And shut up Keaton and shut up Kari. Show the fucking receipts. This is my Best Buy receipt, bitch. This is what I bought. So fuck you. But we haven't seen them mention once. As a matter of fact, Shane has been fucking quiet. He started tweeting last night late. And I have suspicion that Fiore across from me, he could nod his head if he wants, is some type of fucking meth addict. Look at the times that he tweets and look at the amount of tweets that he puts out in a short period of time. Sleeps during the day, wakes up at night. Sometimes he's up for a couple days in a row. There's a fact pattern there. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he's super sober. Maybe he does, which would make this all fucking worse. Because if he's this retarded sober, imagine when when he's on drugs. But that is the definition of fraud. And they go and they victim blame. They go, no, Carrie's a honeypot bitch. No, you're trying to honey dick elderly veterans. You know, again, it's not just Shane. This has been done multiple times by Fiore that's sitting across from me right here. So, excuse me if I look at this and tell you, okay, fuck everything else that you've done. Let's say there was no romanticism or honey dicking involved. It's pretty simple. If there was only 5 messages, which is what I'm going to show you in a second. If there was only 5 messages, and those messages consist of, hey, and do it robotically. Hey, I want to help you succeed. How can I do that? In order to succeed, I need $9,000 computer. Carrie goes, here is $9,000 computer. And he goes, I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to buy it on this day. Those weren't the actual messages. I'm just giving you the example because I'm going to show you the messages. That in itself, if that's the only exchange Carrie has with Shane, that is fraud. Oh, and if Shane doesn't buy the computer, that is fraud. That is a definition of fraud. And my friend over here that asked if it was a $9,000, if that's under the threshold, no, it's still criminal. It's just enforcing the law is different because they want to catch the bigger criminals. They don't want to catch these petty fucking scammers, right? To people like Fiore and Shane, like, they want the small amounts and they want quantity. They want to go after as much veterans, women that are veterans as possible. There's 5 victims. 5. Not 1, not 2, not 5. And I guarantee you there's a lot more. Fact patterns. Fury has lived in like 7 states in a short amount of time. He tries to be anonymous on the internet, but we find out that he's getting kicked out of everywhere he goes. He's a rambler, and he needs money. He needs to create revenue somehow. And how does he create revenue? By hustling older ladies and by using your passions. Because you guys, including me, I'm not going to say you guys. We put in money into his account every time we give him impressions. He put the list of how much money he makes on X. Shit, that's a lot of money. It's like $4,000 biweekly. And you notice that there was another pattern in there. There's a dip. It goes down to like $1,000. So he knows he needs the outrage machine, a target, to go ahead. The same guy that said, fuck MAGA. Right? After he went after, this crazy part, what triggered me mostly, what really put me in the ring here, is that he went after my friend Arky. The best woman on Twitter. The sweetest and most aggressive. She's like a little Sour Patch Kid. She's sweet and sour. Because she's feisty. She's a Marine. That's why she's feisty. And put a picture of her and like try to degrade her. And that was the last straw for me. I'm like, okay, I need to get in there. I'm going to start using this information. And while I'm using this information, that's when the other gentleman comes to me and tells me about Carrie. And we start digging and we start putting together this dossier. And it's much longer than the article that we wrote yesterday. Already, there was a couple nails in his coffin when he said, fuck MAGA. Right? Because all of us, I think most of you guys that I see here, like we fought for this shit. Some of us went through some tough times to get to where we are and how much, and to get to where a point where we've changed the culture so much. I'll quote Kamala Harris, we're not going back. Conservative culture has changed forever. And Trump in 2028, on January 20th, 2029, might not be president again. I hope so. But might not be president. His legacy isn't so much his policy, but the cultural shift that has happened in the conservative movement. And for some newbie, two newbies to come in, he's like, I've been a Trump supporter since 2016. Yeah, but you were grifting at that time and nobody knew who the fuck you were. You were begging for money on the internet. I'm not monetized. I don't make money off this shit. I've been on here for 38 minutes. You know how much I'm getting paid for this? Absolutely nothing. I got other shit to do to make money. I do this because it's a passion of mine. I've been doing this for 20 years. And he comes in, some new fag comes in and decides, fuck MAGA. I'm going to tell you what MAGA is. All these people are turning on me. I'm going to dox them. You know what he said about Carrie? And I posted this the other day on a video. He goes, I'm going to refund that bitch, meaning the money's there to pay her fucking back. And it hasn't, not even a red penny has gone back to Carrie. He said, and once I pay her back, I'm going to post her. He's going to post her information publicly. He needs to return this money. He made up some fucking bullshit ass story yesterday. Oh, I told Shane to go to the FBI and give them the money. You know damn fucking well Shane didn't go to the FBI to give nobody the money. You know damn well, fucking plant your feet on the ground, get off the internet for a second and think and be like, is that logical? That he goes, you go to the FBI office and be like, hey, here's $9,000. Some lady gave it to me. She gave it to you, Shane, out of love for God and country. She thought that you were doing good. You tricked her and you led her on in order for you to get money, to get paid. Another fact pattern of these two. They're always talking about money. Always. Every person that I've talked to, Plus, when you look at their tweets, they're always talking about money. And look, making $4,000, $8,000 a month on Twitter is pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a lot more than I make. Like in real life. That's a lot more than I make. IRL. And you're going to tell me, no, not even you're going to tell me. But everybody's like, oh, money. How could I go to the next? How could I get my apartment paid? How could I get first and last month and give me 6 months? He's done that to multiple people. This Fiore. Whether their wives are foreigners, nothing against them. But that tells you another pattern. You know, usually foreigners are like, they're not in tune. Like Americans are hustlers. Even the best of us, we're hustlers. We know we hustle and tussle, but we don't fuck anybody over. But that's what they target. They target women that don't know anything about them. They think that they're like heroes. They could present themselves as heroes. Oh yeah, I'm part of the MAGA movement. I've heard him say, "Oh, I've been backstage with Trump." Where? Post it. Hide your face. Not that it matters anymore. We have your face. You look like a retard. You got no teeth. Just like Fiore has no teeth. You could see it. You could see it across from me. All this can go away. We'll stop. Just give her back the money. Contact the other victims. Repay them. I'd prefer a public apology after that. I think the victims will be fine with just getting their money back. I'd ask you to publicly apologize. You basically did. You admitted to getting the money. You guys have basically admitted to not buying no fucking computer. Oh, Enrique, you didn't show any fucking proof. Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose. Let's share my entire screen. Let's show you these text messages. These were extracted, by the way, because Carrie got angry at getting screwed over for $9,000 by some fraudster on the internet. She felt stupid. She's not stupid. You know? That wasn't her lane. So she deleted the messages, and we had to go in and extract those deleted messages out of her phone. It took a whole day to do. And thank you for the expertise of the person. I think they're watching too, the expertise of the person that put this together. So let's put this up. So let me zoom out. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure you guys are watching. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds and then just post in the comments if you could see my screen. Did you see the screen when I did this? I don't have a second screen. I should have put up a second screen. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Arky. All right, let's go through these messages a second. And what's important is because he made a post and he showed some messages here. Fiore did, trying to defend Shane. And he said there's a point where Shane says that he's married. He tells her that he's married and he shows it as proof. But you know what he's missing off that screenshot? Which is crazy because he posted multiple screenshots. That's the only one without timestamps. That was after he had received the fucking money. You're going to tell her that you're married after you got the money? Not when you were in the fucking closet or when you call him for business hours? So these are two screenshots next to each other. The left is the extraction from Carrie's phone and the messages. And she writes, and this is Carrie. I made a promise to you that I would help you financially so you could upgrade your tech equipment and start the dream you want. Upgrade your tech equipment. Then she messages him and says, I'm going to keep that promise. You should be at $4,000 by now. All I ask is that you keep your promise to me and save or purchase what you need until you have the setup that will make you successful. Her objective in these two messages is for him to get the dreams he wants, and for him to be successful. That's all she's asking for. Okay? He messages back less than a minute later. Of course, I plan to start getting set up on May 1st. On May 1st. This is on 4/25. April 30th is the last day. So here is within 6 days. And he used this term to her on the phone. I'm going to go to the computer store. What fucking tech guy calls it the computer store? If you're a techie, I don't care who you're talking to, you're going to be like, I'm going to go to Best Buy, or I'm going to go to Amazon, or I'm going to go to Newegg. I'm going to go somewhere to buy all this shit. So he wrote, of course I plan to start getting set up May 1st. And she says, okay, I'm really excited for you. And he thanks her and says, thank you, Carrie. And she says, you're welcome. These are all messages. The message of him being married, this was on the 16th of the following month of May. On the 16th of May is when he said that he's married. But on the right side here, if you see, we have the statements. And as you see, these are safety swipe. That's his name. He sent this money. She sent this money from her USAA credit card. This is an account that was made for veterans. So not only there's more than $9,000 because he paid for both Fiore's, she paid for both Fiore's and Shane's premium Twitter premium account to the tune of $500. And you can see these purchases all the way from April 8th. There's other pages to here, but for this graphic, we're just going to start here. April 9th, April 12th, April 23rd, 24, 25. And during these text messages, she's writing these. That's what those red lines are for, right? This is the area of when these text messages happened, right in this little column right here, okay? But she continued to send money. 500, 500, 500. She pays for her ex account, and she pays for Chewy for her dogs. I don't know what she purchased for $51, but Chewy is actually pretty cheap, so she probably has a lot of dogs. I haven't asked Carrie about that, but so these messages are really important, right? And another thing, like yesterday, is when he showed the other messages from Carrie, right? Where he tells him he's married. Well, if he's married, then why is he talking to a woman off business hours? This is fraud. There's no other way to go about it. This is fraud. I don't think I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be like completely honest. I don't think law enforcement's going to do anything here because it's like a threshold thing. They're going after like big criminals right now. Do I think they should take this case? Absolutely. And my stand-in for Fiore here just shows you that he doesn't want to show his face. He doesn't want to. I would want to if somebody was falsely accusing me of something. Give me a chance. Give me a camera and a microphone. You know why I don't hide from anything? I might be a very flawed individual. I have many flaws. I'm stubborn. I don't listen to people much. I don't listen to advice, mainly because I think we're going to do whatever we want. I think advice is just a way to validate your feelings. But I'm a very flawed individual. I've done shit. I was raised in like, I was as a street kid, you know? But through those moments where I fucked up, I learned every time. I learned not to be a piece of shit. I learned not to defraud people. And they're like, oh, well, you got charged with fraud in 2013. Yeah, I fucked up. But I also wasn't defrauding people. I was defrauding a fucking major fucking pharma company. Not that it's better. I'm not saying that, you know, it's right to do, but I wasn't fucking targeting women. I wasn't targeting people that fought for this country, worked hard for their benefits. A master sergeant. That's not to be taken lightly. A woman that she lives by herself. It was very difficult to get her for the extraction of the phone. She didn't know what to do. We had to walk her through it. I'm not a piece of shit. These two are a piece of shit. Both of them. And I say this, they fuck with the wrong ones. They fuck the wrong team. They should have stayed. I wouldn't be here talking because I wouldn't have known that what was happening if they didn't attack a group of people that shouldn't be fucked with in this manner. We fight back. We have a history of fighting back, and we're really good at it. We make self-defense look like assault. In the physical realm, we make self-defense look like assault. And on the internet, I'm going to find every little detail about you. There was somebody much better at what you do. Fiore, I got to point this way. There was somebody much better doing what you do. His name was Anti-Fash Gordon. You could look him up on Twitter. Anti-Fash Gordon. Look at his bio. ID home fascist. That guy got thousands upon thousands of people fired from their jobs, dehomed. They would kill their credit card processors. He was really good. And for 4 years, he stayed anonymous. No matter how many people went after him, VPN, no breadcrumbs, no nothing. Once he went after the Proud Boys, that was his last straw. We went in and he left one breadcrumb. He purchased a website and he didn't buy the security. We found out that his name was Christian Exu, a professor in the Northeast. We got him fired. We sued him. We found the women that he raped, exposed that. Now, he's a nobody. We sank our teeth into it and we didn't let go. I have been relentless ever since I found this out. I think almost every tweet I've made is in reference to this. I'm not letting go. The only way that I'm going to let go, and this team that we've built is going to let go, is if you give that money back. Not just to Carrie, to everybody else. You know exactly who I'm talking about, Fiore. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I keep looking at the camera. I gotta talk to Fiore over here. You give the money back. And that's it. I'll let go. I got other things to fucking worry about. You know how much I wanted to focus on this Carmelo Anthony thing. I wanted to focus on this 1776 weaponization thing that, you know, the DOJ said that they canceled. I want to focus on my J6ers. I want to focus on my personal life, things that I have going. I have a shit ton of things going on. I don't talk about my personal problems. I have a shit ton of things going on. I'd rather focus on that. But it doesn't bother me to sit here and do this. And you say, oh, this is coordinated. Of course it's coordinated. Yes, I fucking acknowledge that it's coordinated. It's coordinated by the victims, and it's coordinated by the people that are not going to put up with both of your shits. Yeah, we're coordinating. It's in group chats. We're putting everything together. And we are going forward until you give this money back. You fuck with the wrong ones. You pretend this LARPy thing with the chimps. Oh, we're chimps. Yeah, you're a bunch of fucking chimps. You're a bunch of finger-sniffing apes. You stick your finger in your ass, and that's what fucking, you go to the zoo, that's what chimps do. And that's what you're doing. You're a finger-sniffing ape. Give the fucking money back. And this goes away. And you could focus on changing your name, bringing in a new identity, and trying to fuck more people over. We'll find you. But you could focus on that. I could focus on like other work. Again, I don't mind fucking sitting here. I've dedicated like 3 days of my life to this. Well worth it. When you steal money from people, I'm going to dedicate some time to it. Because the most important thing you can give somebody is time. And she was genuine. If you would have heard that space, you'd feel exactly how I do right now. She was fucking sobbing. It took her like 5 minutes just to get through like 2 paragraphs. Everybody had to be quiet on the space because nobody wanted to interrupt her. Ain't nobody paying no $9,000 for no fucking setup. I made this example the other day. A gaming rig, a very good gaming rig, you can buy online and build for about $4,000, right? It focuses, I'm going to put this as layman as possible. It focuses on graphics, 3-dimensional graphics and processing that so people could see it and play video games. They're not playing video games. A pretty good computer to get like Hollywood level editing done. It could be in the 9,000 or more range. That's possible. But that's just a flex. So if you guys know how video editing programs work, you put like the pieces of the videos together, but you're rendering the thing that your screen, the main screen that's showing, you're not rendering that at like 8K or 12K or anything like that. You're rendering at like 1080p so you could kind of work so the computer doesn't overload, right? And then when you finish, then you render it in 8K, you download it, you render it in 8K and you watch it and you make sure like visually it's good. Or you could render it in 8K and kind of at some point, but you don't stay rendering in 8K because it takes a lot of processing power. These guys making Hollywood movies? I don't think so. They're definitely not. Look at Fiore's podcasts. He like puts like fucking shit on the screen. Like he just like fucking plasters something on the screen and he talks and his microphone sucks. So you can't even say you got a fucking $600 microphone. Not like that's a flex. You're using OBS. That's free software. So if they're not gaming and they're not making movies, what are they doing? What can we see that they're doing? And the things that we see that they're doing is they're podcasting, they're hosting spaces, which you do on your phone. And he does do them on the phone because he's dropped his phone before while he's been on a space. I've heard it. You don't drop a desktop computer, which is what you would use, or a laptop computer. And they do OSINT work, right? They dox like all these leftists supposedly, and elderly veterans, as what he was saying. What does that take? You could do that on a Chromebook. You don't need no fucking processing power for that. So you could be like, oh, well, they need expensive software for all this shit. No, you don't. You need a fucking VPN. VPN. You want like some type of fucking like software? Fine. Okay. $2,000. But it's not $9,000. So don't bullshit me. That was another thing. As soon as I heard the story, I'm like, $9,000 for a fucking computer. Fuck you. I don't even think, like, there's a whole bunch of computers in this office, including my laptops. I got a MacBook Pro. And if you were to put all of them together, and Apple's pretty expensive. And if you put all the you put all the computers themselves here, at my house, and you're still under like $4,000. Yeah, Adobe's pricey, but not much. They got the cloud stuff now that you pay like $50 a month, and students pay like, I think for the whole suite, like $20 a month. And then here's another thing. Aren't they hackers? Just get the crack for the fucking program. Sorry, I haven't really been looking at the comments, but let me see if I take it. They made a give, send, go. This Shell says this. They made a give, send, go, and they took all the money. And this happened multiple times. He did a GoFundMe back in like 2017 or 18. Listen, I'll never ask you to give me money for my patriotism. I'm not going to ask you. Like, I'll sell you something. I'll sell you like a t-shirt or my book, my memoir. I'm not even going to plug my shit right now to prove a point. I'm not doing any plugs. Fucking stole the money. Tickle says the Austin Metcalf verdict has been reached. That already tells you what the verdict is. Because if they were deliberating and they would wait, and that was at, I think Jinx says 10 something CST. So they only deliberated for a couple hours. This is over, Grover. Let me know if something comes up on it. I hope any other victims of these scams come forward. They might. You know? I'm not going to push them to do it. I'm afraid there might be riots again after the Anthony case. I don't think so. I think you might see like small occurrences, but in this one, the reason why I'm not afraid of this one. So the George Floyd one was obviously, bullshit, but to the viewer, it was graphical. There was somebody like kneeling on him, and like that's the image. They didn't show the whole thing or the thing that he had fentanyl. So there was some emotion there. With this one, it's pretty easy. There's no video. It's a stabbing. So you'll get like some small riots, but I don't think it's going to turn into a George Floyd situation. Plus, we're not in summer yet. Shell says, you can say my name. I'm not afraid anymore. Shell's one of those 5 people. Thank you for commenting that. Yeah, she was one of those people. He's cooked. This guy's cooked. He's lost all. No, and then he name drops. He's like, oh, I'm good friends with Cat Turd and the Dilly Meme team. They're not going to save you from this. Because if they do, they're going to fucking feel the wrath of everybody else too. Notice that Cat Turd has not come to his, I'm not a Cat Turd fan. On a personal level. I think he does good work. He brings people in. But name drop these people, Senior Master Sergeant. I'm sorry. I've been saying Master Sergeant, and Slim went ahead and corrected me there. I'm sorry. Protect our veterans. Absolutely. It's quite disturbing. Yes. Verdict. Computer store. Yeah, Arky, exactly. Computer store. Who says it? Like, if you're in the business and you know this shit, like, you're going to say, I'm going to get it. Like, it's pride, right? Although I think if you buy computer equipment at Best Buy, you're an idiot. But regardless of the fact, like, you say, like, it's a tech thing. This one's funny. I will send you $9,000 so you can get a second screen. Listen, if you send that message over, if you send that message over, they'll probably like tell you, yes, I'm going to buy a $9,000 screen. They'll take your money. Hey, take your money. Shell says, no one will ever see that money again. I'm scrolling up, by the way. I see there's new comments. I'm going to go down there in a second. He's probably chimping out right now on his fucking timeline. I could only do this for so long. Like, when we do the news brief in the morning, like, I see that we get, like, right now we're at an hour and 6 minutes. I was only supposed to do 15 minutes. I guess I could talk to the camera by myself. Maybe I should do these a little bit more often. He's probably chimping out right now. Cat Turd quote posted Sippy today. Yeah, that's actually pretty good because Sippy's one of those people. Oh, and then our co-host Patty needs to fucking chime in. What the fuck are you crying about now? Shut up. Get in studio. Bitch at me there. Patty's one of those people that would probably fall for like a honey pot. He's probably one of those veterans that would probably fall for like fucking Shane or something. He's bringing people down with him. Yeah. Enrique standing up for bullies. Yeah. I mean, I'm a bully. Don't get it twisted. I'm a bully. That's exactly what I'm fucking doing to this guy. I'm fucking bullying the shit out of him. Carmelo is going to prison for life. Do we have a verdict? Let's go to Sippy or Jinxed. See if we got something. Verdict is in. That was 10 minutes ago. So they got to bring in the jury. The way that it works, obviously, I know very well. They got to bring in the jury, and they got to go through it. It's usually a fast process once he's in there. So let's just hope. I'll probably stay on for just a little longer just to see what the results are. Arky says life was off the table because of his age. He can't get life. 30 years is enough. Is it? I believe you might be right about that. I think even life is 30 years there in Texas. I might be wrong, but I believe so. What's good? Pop a clutch. What's crazy is I could only see like your handles. 30 is all. So Arky has said that it's 30. I think that's true. What do you eat the crust first? Okay, look, this argument needs to go about the pizza. Okay. Regular pizza, you can eat it however you want. As a matter of fact, Trump ate the New York style pizza the other day and he folded it, which is how you're supposed to do it. Cuban pizza is different. Cuban pizza, you got to eat with a fork and knife because it's very thick breading and there's very little sauce. And the sauce, I'm getting into the science of pizza here. Since there's very little sauce, it kind of turns into like a lubricant, right? So when you peel it apart and you eat it, you'll take the whole, like the cheese with it. So you're supposed to eat it with a fork and knife. Cuban pizza. Yeah, Cuban pizza is big down here. As Ash says, as a black man, how do you feel about the impending Carmelo verdict? I feel pretty good. And I think most black Americans feel good about it too. It's only the ones chimping out in front of that courthouse and like a couple others on the internet. Proud pizza, yes, definitely proud pizza. Pardon me, J6. Again, some of you guys, I know who you are because I know your display names. But pardon me, J6 says N. And I tend to agree with him here. I'm Puerto Rican. Did somebody join? Oh yeah. Patty, you got a little like white noise in your mic. Okay, there you go. I'm Puerto Rican, and we don't have special pizza. Beth, I'm sorry, I'm Cuban. We make fun of Puerto Ricans all the time. There's nothing special about Puerto Ricans. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You do have Puerto Rican bread, which is crazy. Let me talk about those two things. So one, you Puerto Ricans steal our flag. Let's start with that. All you do is you invert the colors. And then the world famous Cuban bread, You guys do the same fucking. It's the same bread, but you don't put it. It doesn't have the split on the top because usually when you do to bake Cuban bread is you make this elongated loaf and you put a piece of wax string on top of it, and what it does is it opens up the top. So Puerto Ricans are so lazy that they don't put the string on it; they just throw it in the oven. You have the best rice. Gandules. Now, gandules, I don't. Arroz con gandules, I fuck with that. I really do. Oh, wait. Mofongo. Mofongo is really fucking good. Yeah. I'm bringing you on now. Let me take this retard off the fucking screen. Yeah, mofongo is really good. I love me some mofongo. Made the right way. We used to actually make it in prison too. You get the plantain chips and you put water and you crush them, right? And then you put like the meats, the cheese, and all of that, and you close it up. Rebel says, "Fuck Patty, he smells." Luckily, we don't have that technology. Maybe with a $9,000 computer, we can transmit. We could transmit our smells over here. How's it going, Patty?
Oh, it's going. So what, were you supposed to have some fruitcake on here and it didn't happen?
No, he was never going to go on.
Oh.
He was never.
a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke. He was never going to come on. He had already said, "I'm not going on," which is, bro, that's like the pussiest thing to do,
Yeah.
right? Just
Like
come
I said,
on. I'm not.
time
Go ahead.
the only time I've ever said no was Jake Lang after that shirtless thing. I was like, no, fuck that.
Weren't you? But you were on with Jake for a little bit.
No, I never. Yeah, I was on your show.
Yeah,
with him.
yeah, of course.
But then he texted me and was like, "Hey, would you do my show?" And I said, "No, I'm all set, man." It's a hard no on that one.
and I
Oh, yeah.
I consider myself pretty fair. I wasn't going to mute him.
No, it's not that. It's just that I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go on there so you can yell and scream, and I can just stand there and watch you make a jerk out of yourself. I'm like, it's not entertaining, and there's not a conversation that's happening. So thanks, but no thanks. That's the only time I've ever said no. I've been on some fucking ridiculous shows, man. I did Will Johnson's show like 8 times. Like, I've done the bottom of the barrel, but that's
Oh,
too much.
don't be like that to Will. Will's great, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Will's great.
Will's about as sharp as a set of bed sheets. Will's a dumb fuck, man. Come on. That happened.
Beth says, "Hey, I can't stand Bad Bunny. He's an embarrassment for us." Look, I agree with you. Pero Titi me preguntó is something that just stays in my head, and I do listen to it. And Reno actually listens to it too, except Reno doesn't know what the lyrics are saying at all.
Reno wouldn't know if it was in English. I mean, he would have trouble with that as well. So let's not worry about it.
Rebel's bringing this up. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't like piling on Jake Lang. He's like a content machine. He's married, and like he flies to like some chick's house, right? That I'm assuming is a podcaster, but she only has like 1,000 followers or something. And she's pretty, right? And she's really like she like is idolizing him in this whole time, and she cooks him steak and gives him wine, and like I don't know, bro. Like if you're his wife and you're watching it, like, look, Rachel, me and you have had if she's watching this, me and you have had conversations here, but that's pretty wild. It's James Fishback's ex.
Oh, now it's even weirder. Like,
Wow. No way. Reno, no way. Holy shit. I don't know. When did you sign into this stream? Patty?
you asking me? I don't know.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
minutes ago.
Oh, okay. So you don't know the backstory. Did you read my article? Probably not.
No.
Yeah. Well, just in like, we don't have to revisit it.
I mean, summarized.
Summarize is like these fucking dudes honey-dicked, and they've honey-dicked a couple women that are veterans that are a little older, right? Over the age of 50. And like they like wrote like Got them wrapped around their pinky, and then they ask them for money for equipment.
Right.
Oh, wait, look, somebody that's an AV guy. What do you need a $9,000 computer for? Like what kind of jobs? Because that's a
Well, look, the Apple trash cans. I mean, if you're doing, I mean, you can spend $9,000 on an
Yeah.
Apple desktop. Yeah, I mean, I use an iMac and I get it done.
studio. Yeah, that's what I have, an
Yeah,
iMac.
yeah.
I got
We used to
it
call them trash cans because they look like
like a trash can.
trash cans. Yeah.
So here, tell me. So like you're using Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, whatever it is that you use to edit.
Yeah.
If you're rendering in real time in 1080, is that
No,
I
you're
mean,
not going to have a problem. But nobody shoots in 1080 anymore because
No, I know. I get you're not shooting, but you're rendering like when you're
Yeah.
previewing.
yeah,
You're previewing
Well,
in
when-
1080. Can your iMac do that?
yeah. No, well, the thing is, I shoot everything in at least 4K because that's just what everything is a base on everything. But when I put stuff out, even for television, for work, I put it out at 1080 because that's most of the stations are only going to run it that way anyway. So yeah, the iMac can handle that. But there are cameras now, especially like at the 360 camera will shoot in 8K,
Yeah.
which is just unnecessary and stupid. But it'll stutter a little bit on that.
But like if you were a Hollywood director, I mean, not an editor, a Hollywood editor, and you have, and I don't see the point in this, but you're rendering in real time as you're editing in like 4K or 8K, right? That takes a powerful machine,
Yeah.
right? But if you're rendering it, because you don't need to render it in 8K to export it in 8K, you're just rendering at a lower resolution in order for it to be
utility, though,
easier.
Yeah, the utility of having, so it depends on the resolution of the image that you're pulling in, right? So if I pull in a 4 or 8K image, but I know I'm only putting it out at 1080p, right? So now I've got this huge image that if I want to move it or if I want to push in, like if I think the shot was too wide, like if Bobby shot it and it's asininely wide and you're like, why the fuck did you shoot it that way? I can push in on a 1080 timeline without breaking pixels, right?
Yeah.
Without losing resolution.
Of course.
So it's nice to have the extra res, even though you don't intend to use it. You might need to use it. But the thing is, when you bring that footage in, it's much heavier. You know what I mean? So like your computer's going to have to transcode and render that stuff before you put it in the timeline. And that can take time if you have a slower machine. But honestly, if you just soup up an iMac, and they can get expensive, like I put everything that I could into this one, as I maxed it out, it's still going to cost way less than a trash can. You know what I mean? Like
Of course. So let me ask you this, and it's great that you don't know what's going on because I could ask you and you could answer unbiasedly. But before I get into asking you about what they do, so like gaming machines, I don't know if you're in tune, but a gaming machine, you could build a pretty good rig for about $4,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only experience I had was when my last job in TV news when I worked at WHDH in Boston. They bought a system that was PC only, and they recommended, the company that makes the system, VizRT, recommended that they were like, you can't use a Mac, you definitely can't. And they wanted this crazy gaming laptop that they gave me, and it was like a fucking aircraft carrier. I hated this thing, and I hate the way PCs work in the first place, and it was an absolute disaster. I've always stayed away from those machines because they just don't work, man. Like, I don't know. I know there are nerds who love that shit, but I just like stuff that works out of the box. And those things, there's always some kind of problem. There's always some tinkering thing. It's like a Mustang or a Harley Davidson or something. It's supposed to work, but it never really does. You know?
Look, and again, before I get into it, like, look, what camera are you using right now? Because that's a peripheral, regardless. But
yeah, this is the Osmo Pocket 3.
Okay, you're using an Osmo Pocket. What's the price of that?
Well, when I bought it, it was I think
They're back down to
$6.99 or
back down to normal price now for some.
Are they all right? So it's about $700 with the creator combo stuff with the extra handle and whatnot. Yeah.
I paid $1,200 for the same setup because of DJI. It's imported from China or whatever, the tariffs. So my camera, the one that I'm using here and the one that I'm using for Fiore over there, is an OBSBot webcam that costs about $150, and I think right now they're like at $100. You can't tell a big difference between my camera and your camera, can you?
No, the thing is, the reason that I like the, I mean, that's a webcam. This is a street cam.
It's a
that you can
versatility.
use as a webcam. Yeah.
Yeah, the versatility of it.
And the webcam, I'm shooting at 1080p right now because that's the webcam capability on the DJI, on the Osmo, this version. But yeah, I shot a video the other day, just making, I don't know if you saw the Oneyville, New York system hot wieners. We did the quick minute and a half thing, and it looks awesome. This thing is, if you want to walk out on the street and shoot without having to carry something heavy and be able to react quickly and be on a gimbal and get smooth footage, there's not a better camera on the market than this for the price. But as a webcam, you're right. Yeah, your shot looks better because this isn't built to be a webcam. It's like an additional.
I usually, and just to say, I usually use my Osmo. It's just I just came back from a trip and I took the Osmo with me, so I had to use. This is an OBS bot camera.
Right.
So, okay, so let me tell you something, unbiasedly. So if I needed a machine, and these were the things that I was going to do, kind of just give me a round price point of what you think it would cost. If I was going to run the most advanced antivirus and a VPN on it, and I was going to use it to search for people's information online, right? And I was
that's
gonna,
out of my depth. I don't do that, so I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about that.
Well, it's an antivirus and a VPN, right?
Yeah.
You were going to run an antivirus and a VPN, which you don't technically run on the computer, but we'll just go out there. So let's just go with the most advanced antivirus and firewall protection for your machine.
Right.
And you do a podcast, you do space, like Twitter Spaces, right?
Right.
And you do a podcast, but you don't show yourself on screen, so you don't need a camera.
Right.
Right. And then I think I said this already. Yeah. And you look up people's information, like OSINT work on a computer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of machine would you buy?
I mean, for something like that, I just get a base model iMac. Like, I mean, there's no reason.
You don't need like a Pro or a Studio or a trash
hell
can?
no. Just to do that, I mean, unless you also want to be editing 8K video at all the time. But I'm telling you,
what if you wanted? Let's talk about video for a second. What if you make AI videos? Do you need processing power to make AI videos?
No. Because all that stuff's done in the pro. Yeah, that's all done in externally. But no, I would say I mean, there's going to be there are going to be AI editing programs, and I guarantee you the next version of Final Cut and Premiere are going to have AI features that are going to. I mean, if you look at the rest of the Adobe suite, there are AI features in Photoshop now that just frankly piss me off. I'm like, come on, this requires no skill anymore. So Final Cut, I guarantee you there's not going to be another version that comes out that doesn't have heavy AI in there. And maybe it'll be a tax on the system, and maybe, I'll have to get a trash can eventually. But I've been working on iMacs full-time for the last 15 years, man. And I've never had a problem. I mean, there are days when I've shot some heavy-duty stuff that it's taken a little longer than I wanted to render, but never anything that was that much of a pain in the ass. So yeah, you can go and you can spend spend a ton of money, but I really think that people always overshoot it. You know what I mean? People overdo it constantly. So
if you were running, have you ran OBS before? Is that what you're running?
Yeah. No. I use EVMux.
Okay. But you've ran OBS before.
Yeah, I just didn't like the interface. I didn't like it.
Yeah. OBS is open source. Would you need, if you were doing like basic work on OBS, would you need like some fucking type, and you weren't running because you can't stream. You can't stream in 4K. I think the max right now is 1080.
Why would you want to anyway? That's the thing. Like, again, that's people like overdoing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Most people are going to see it in a much lower resolution anyway. Like I said, I shoot everything for work in 4K. I never put, and a lot of it is for YouTube and for, Google ads and all this stuff. And I never put anything out 4K. I thought in the beginning I would do it, and I uploaded a few videos. They take too long to upload. And there's no purpose in it, none.
Yeah. So I'm reaching at my point of cringe because we're at an hour and 26 minutes. I'm going to ask you this last question.
All right.
So let's say you were well off, and I was a woman, and you weren't married, right? And I had a nice pair of tits.
Right.
And
you do now. Don't sell yourself short.
And I go into something that you know about. I'm like, hey, I do OnlyFans, and I need $9,000 to buy a computer to do OnlyFans. What would you say to me?
I wouldn't say anything. I'd be out of there immediately. Like, that's not even.
But what if? Okay. All right. You said
this
no.
didn't happen to Rufio, did it?
No, it didn't happen to Ethan. But now let's take another tree. Let's say you say yes to me because you want to see my tits or whatever.
Not for $9,000.
Well, wait, but you're well off.
I could buy you tits for $9,000.
You got $1 billion in your. I'm putting everything in the best case scenario.
Okay.
And I ask you for $9,000, and you give it to me, right? And I tell you specifically, very, very specifically, that money is for a computer, for a setup. Mm-hmm. And then you go, okay, show me your setup, and I don't show it to you. Is that considered fraud?
No, I think it's a con, but it's not. You're an idiot. You're the reason there are thieves in the world. You're a fucking dope, and that you deserve it.
I guess.
I mean,
my left wing friend.
You had it coming.
I guess you have somewhat of a point, but wouldn't you consider fraud? Because we've seen this before, like the definition of fraud, where the government asks the taxpayer for money for something or a company, and then they use it for something else.
Something else,
right? You're defrauding somebody at that point.
Right?
Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess. I think the problem here is that you should be so incredibly embarrassed that you allow this to happen to yourself that you should not take legal action, because then it would become public record that you're a fucktard.
Well, in this case, here, and I'll give you the situation. In this case, these people got these women, took advantage of them, and the fact that they know nothing about technology, and they said that they needed a $9,000 rig, and they said, "Hey, just show me the stuff that will make you successful," and he refused to send pictures of this setup. Right, and then blocked her. Right, I don't think the cops are going to come pick him up, but I wanted to shed, and that's what I was doing here today. I was kind of shedding light on that.
So
because this has been happening in the shadows, and these guys are doxers, right?
Yeah.
So these women are like fucking afraid. They don't know. They've heard about doxing on the internet, and they think it's like this big scary thing where like they're going to get swatted. Which is exactly what one of them said.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to get swatted.
What's the promise that they made to the victims, the alleged victims? What did they promise them would happen?
That they were going to buy. They were going to buy a rig so they could continue their conservative, pro-conservative endeavors.
So, what's the difference between? I mean, the example that comes to mind would be, the televangelists, which is not an old thing. It still goes on the internet. But guys like Jim Baker, if you send me a bunch of money, you're sowing seeds, and you'll be blessed by God, and we'll use it to further our ministry. But what he's really doing is like gold plating his toilet and buying a new fucking hotel and shit like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
when he
I mean,
went to
yes.
jail, it wasn't for that. It was for a bunch of other seedy bullshit that wasn't really that. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how you prove that. But Tickle Text just said, Patrick, I love your jukebox. It's actually not a jukebox. It's fake. It's a radiator cover that some friends of mine made
Oh, that's
to
actually
cover
pretty
one of
cool.
those ugly ass
Yeah.
radiators that we have in New England, the cast iron.
I'm
ones.
guessing it doesn't work because obviously it would have just burned that up.
Yeah, no, it's not a jukebox.
Working.
It just really looks
No,
like
no.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the radiator is not working. Or is it?
No, the radiator works. The company, friends of mine who own the company, they make it. It's called Cool Heat. They make it. It's insulated, so the
Oh, it's
radiator
insulated.
runs.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can't burn anything up. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know about none of that Yankee shit in radiators, but look, to give you the point, look, yes, but there's a difference too, right? So they're like, give me money so I could further your cause. They're not being specific. It's still fraud. You know, I'm not taking away from that because they'll buy a private jet and a Rolls Royce or whatever, but they're being very general about what they're saying. They're like, well, because then they could say, well, I need a private jet to further your cause.
Yeah,
I need a
right.
Rolls Royce because I need protection. They're bulletproof.
Jesus told
whatever. I
me.
don't even
Yeah,
know.
right. Gotcha.
Exactly. So, so like,
But could
there's
these
not
guys
a
make a
difference.
similar
There's not a
excuse?
difference. No, because I have the text messages and I'll show them to you again.
okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I have the text messages here. Let me switch over to this screen. Why does it always do that? It goes to like my fucking thing. Right? This is her. I made a promise to you that I would help you financially so you could upgrade your tech equipment and start the dream you want. I'm going to keep that promise. You should be at 4K now. All I ask is that you keep your promise to me and save or purchase what you need until you have the setup that will make you successful. Of course, I plan to start getting it May 1st. Okay, I'm really excited for you. Thank you so much, Carrie, which is a woman's name. And she says, you're welcome. And here's her USAA statements as she's taking this money in because she had to do it in $500 increments. And then a couple of days after the last payment was made, he blocked her because she asked for proof.
Yeah.
And all I'm asking this guy to do is fucking give the money back.
Yeah, well,
I doubt it.
generally speaking, when guys pull shit like this, that money's been spent. So,
Yeah.
damn. That's
And
pretty rough.
Austin Metcalf has been found guilty of murder. To absolutely nobody's surprise. I don't know what you think about this case. I'm pretty sure I know what you think about this case.
I hadn't been paying a whole lot of attention to it,
Okay.
so I'm not going to opine. There's so
Yeah.
many of these that I just can't. I don't know.
Guilty.
I find myself bored with court cases. Like every time there is one, I just like don't give a shit.
Imagine
I don't
being
know.
Imagine being part of one.
Yeah,
Well, you were part of one, actually.
yeah, for a day. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't a big deal. Although it was an experience that was a bizarre experience for a lot of reasons that had nothing to do with the trial. But yeah, that was one of the stupidest trips to DC I've ever taken, and there have been some really stupid ones. But that one was bizarre. The idiot lawyer
Put it
me
down
in
there
a
at the
fucking
bottom.
hostel.
It didn't cost $9,000 to do that.
No,
Only a subscription
definitely.
to EV Mux at and I have the premium plan, and I think it's like $80 a month.
You pay $80 a month? I get the 25, man. I think it's
Yeah, you get the
25.
25, but you guys use mine, right?
No, I
So,
don't
like-
use yours. I just
No, I know,
just-
but like all the
yeah,
other
yeah.
hosts use mine. So I need to pay for more seats, more storage, which you guys fucking go through pretty quickly.
I don't go through anything because I post my shit direct now. But
Not anymore. You know what I mean.
yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, fucking crazy. But all right, I think we're pretty much done here. I'm gonna dig in a little bit into this. I got a couple calls to make, and I got to dig into this Carmelo Anthony thing. Big shout out to to Sarah Fields and Sippy Cup for being there and covering that trial every day. I was there last week. There's no credit at all that goes to me. I was just literally fucking there. I saw somebody say, "Oh, thank you for being there." I was just there a fucking day. You know, I wanted to see Sarah, make sure she walked out safe, which it was pretty safe that day, and just kind of take a look at what was happening on the ground there. To the parents of Austin Metcalf, I hope this won't make anything better, but I hope this brings some level of comfort to you for losing your son to this tragedy. I appreciate you, Patty, for coming on the show. I appreciate my boy Fiore for coming on the show. An absolute fag. We put the blue hair on him because that's exactly what he sounds like when he goes on
You guys
his
are so
rants.
obsessed with blue hair. It's a real fucking fetish that you have. I don't get it.
Look how good the cameras here are. That the fucking the contrast just keeps coming in and out, and the glasses are falling off the face. Those are Barry's glasses.
Yeah, of course they are.
Barry buys all his glasses at the gas station or at the swap shop. He needs to get a fucking pair. Barry, get a pair of fucking Ray-Bans, dude.
He spends more money at the truck stop, as far as I understand, though.
Like, dude, we're looking at those fucking gas station
glory hole.
glasses that you have. You need to buy, like, I don't know, Oakley's, Ray-Bans, like at least some like type of mediocre brands. Like, I'm not asking you to buy like Fendi or Carreras.
I don't even know what that is.
Carreras? Oh, they're pretty nice. I have a pair. Somebody bought them for me. You're going to be honest with me. What?
I understand that you're a low IQ knuckle dragging Negro.
You could say it a little louder. Well, not that part.
I understand that you're a low IQ knuckle dragging Negro. Every day I've come in here either with Oakley's or Ray-Bans on, including the ones I'm wearing right now. But because you're so fucking low IQ, you can't see that. You've never noticed.
Those are the only Ray-Bans that you own.
Well, I lost the other one in the Great Battle of McGinnis Comedy Act.
Okay.
Yeah, those were my favorite. They were polarized. Thanks again.
He's got like a premium Temu account.
I don't have any.
He has a premium Temu account. All right. Well, with that, I bid you guys a very good fuck off. I'm out of here. I'm way over what I'm used to doing. This is the first time I talked to the camera by myself. I had a lot of fun with you guys, but I also had a lot of interactions and people to talk to. Murder in the first degree. Fuck yeah. You can't say you didn't do nothing anymore. You're going to prison for life. Those Black Panthers that are outside, I hope you're fucking crying, you bunch of pussies. And you got anything coming up, Patty?
No, I just wanted to say go Spurs and fuck the Knicks.
Didn't they start a riot yesterday?
No, but I was hoping that the president would pass away of natural causes, of course. That didn't happen. But hey, today's a new day, and tomorrow the sun will come up, and hopefully he won't.
He's still going to be your president.
Not if he's deceased.
All right, and with that, we're signing off to the special edition of the News Brief with our boy. One more time, we'll sign off with him on the screen with our boy Fiore. I got to figure out how to pronounce that, Fiore. Any last words, Fiore? No? You don't want to say anything? Nothing at all? Fuck off. We're out of here.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun. to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.